everyone, welcome to Love Talk, time to communicate with me, Helena and James.
We believe that marriage is the greatest investment anyone can have. It's for this reason that the Love Talk show aims its efforts at leading people to understand how to make their relationship a success.
Just like a house needs to be constantly maintained and sometimes even upgraded, the same effort and investment should go into a relationship. The moment you stop paying attention to it, things inevitably start to go wrong.
So if your relationship is in need of some touch-ups here and there, or maybe just a little bit of a dusting off the cobwebs, then don't go anywhere, because this is for you.
There are now many websites that are openly promoting extramarital affairs in newspapers and billboards. And Facebook is cited in the third of divorces.
Marriage has always been under attack from outside threats, but we have now reached a different level altogether of this problem. Should we lock up our partners and throw away the key so no one can get to them?
This is what we are talking about today. How do you protect your marriage from outside influences and threats?
Don't go anywhere, because over the next 45 minutes, you will learn how to safeguard your relationship.
Technology affects our lives in a variety of ways, but can it potentially ruin relationships? NAZ Today's Emily Kane reports on a new website and how it could be another way technology influences our personal lives.
Extramarital affairs have been a devastating issue for ages. With today's emphasis on technology, cheating has found a new contributing factor: the internet. A dating site encouraging adultery is sparking controversy throughout the nation.
I could see it being initially oh, I'm not hurting anyone, I'm not harming anyone. And then of course that just opening the doors.
Victoria Milan is a website that targets married people and finds them a match for a discreet flirt, a one-night stand, or a full-fledged affair.
Have you been there?
No,
Oh.
no.
It's a great site.
The website surveyed 6,000 clients. From their responses, 45% said that too much of their spouse's time spent on a phone or tablet was a contributing factor to their affair, and 2/3 said that they would not have cheated without the internet's help. But how much does technology actually boost cheating rates? Licensed clinical social worker Ron Paul has counseled married couples for years and does not agree with the survey's results.
People have been cheating for thousands of years. If a marriage isn't good, and people aren't investing in it, and people aren't committing to it, then they're going to cheat.
Paul says that technology is not a cause for an affair, but rather a scapegoat used by many cheaters who don't want to take blame.
And blaming internet media or social media for cheating is like saying I'm an alcoholic because there's bars out there.
The Swobodas agree that people use the site as a tool to carry out an already established idea.
If it's coming from a dating site for married people that want to date,
They had it in their mind that they were going to cheat before they went to the site.
Regardless of the cause, Victoria Milan is growing in popularity throughout America, Europe, and Scandinavia. For NAZ Today, I'm Emily Kane.
I just want to make a point with that guy who apparently has a lot of experience in families and affairs and people cheating. He said people have been cheating for thousands of years, so it doesn't make any difference about the internet or these kind of sites. And that's stupid. It's the most stupid argument I've ever heard, because he said it's like blaming people being alcoholics on bars. Surely a bar doesn't make anybody an alcoholic, but a bar makes alcohol more available at all times of the day or night, and it's statistically proven that alcohol fuels most of police call-outs during the night. Most of them are fueled by alcohol. So of course that social media and these kind of websites, even though they may not be solely responsible for people cheating, but they are extra threats that we never had to deal with before that we now have to deal with.
Yes, it's like there's a lot more temptation, because if you are an alcoholic and you have lots of bars around you, it makes it easy for you to drink.
Giving you drinks for free.
Yeah, and it's
because the internet is free.
And the worst thing is that it's viewed as normal. Just go and buy yourself 5-10 drinks, or just go online and just write to someone. Find someone to cheat, on your husband with, and that's it. It makes it normal. I don't agree with that. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
In order for you to protect yourself against something, you must first understand what is attacking you in the first place.
We decided to talk about the main things that over the years we have seen causing marriages and relationships to fall apart, but also how you can prevent these things from causing damage between you and your marriage.
First on the list has to be the dangers found online. Facebook, illicit affair websites, porn, etc. All these are recent dangers that have gained popularity over the past years. The only way to stop this from slowly destroying your relationship is to have a no-nonsense approach with it.
You know, this is you can't play with this area of interference. You know, for example, Facebook I think has, it serves a purpose for you to connect with people that you know. It's even a good thing because you don't have to pay to speak to people across the world, people that you know and so on.
Yeah.
But you can't say, you know, I'm using this to talk to people of the opposite sex or this old flame that I had and it's okay because it's on Facebook. It's not okay. The person has to understand you have to nip that at the bud, otherwise there will be problems.
Yeah, and if you have no self-control, the best thing is for you not to use Facebook at all. We all survived without Facebook. I can't even believe that we are actually including this in this show. As you can see, times have changed in such a way, because when Facebook came about, we all thought, well, at least I did. I said, oh, okay, great, another social network, you know, to get us more busy, even busier. But you see, it has destroyed, I mean, it has been a tool to, you know, to getting many marriages destroyed nowadays because of that.
But the thing is, we had to include it because of how many relationships we had to be.
That's the thing, it's amazing, unbelievable. Now, another problem is pornography. As we have said before in this program, there is no benefit to the couple being exposed to this. The woman will feel inadequate compared to the other woman on the videos, and the man will get a tarnished and unrealistic view of what intimacy between a couple is.
Now, we've covered quite a bit already in this first segment of the program, but we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the third and very negative and most recent influence in marriages, which is these new illicit affair websites. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Now we're going to go straight into the third and most recent threat that affects marriages from the outside, and that is the illicit affairs website. Now, I don't even think I need to explain to you why this is bad and this is negative. Just don't do it. It's morally and ethically wrong. Now, it is estimated that just over 50% of affairs happen with someone from work. You confide with a work colleague of some problems you're going through, and when you least expect, you feel drawn to this person in a compromising way. This is why we have tried to explain before on this program that more often than not, friendships with the opposite sex will lead thoughts of being more than just friends, at least from one of the parties involved.
Would you believe that in America there is a private investigator firm that specializes especially in finding out if your spouse is cheating? They even offer to give you proof of the act before you let your relationship get to this stage. It's important that you eliminate anything that could potentially cause problem between both of you.
Now, it's important to mention as well that some things that are also used nowadays to affect marriages is the fact that we always seem to have technology at our hands all the time. And if we're not careful, that even happens to us. Sometimes we're eating, we're supposed to be talking, and during that time we're checking emails, we're contacting people because we want to get work done, and that sometimes even affects our own time together.
And I have to be honest, the other day I got so angry with myself. I was having lunch by myself because James was in a meeting or something, and then I find myself not eating properly because I was like, you know, when you take ages to finish your lunch because you're there on your phone. And you know what I did? I just threw the phone away like this on the table. I said, you know what? I was, you know, if there was a camera filming me, you know, I looked really silly. But it's true. It's like dominating people. It's like communication, all these things should be helping us, but it's actually doing the opposite.
And
what is it doing to?
And you were by
to us?
yourself. Now, sometimes that happens when the couple's together. Now, something very important to mention here as well. This is extremely important. The most important thing in a relationship is being open, transparent, and having no secrets whatsoever. So it goes without saying that even though there is no need, for example, for your partner to go through your emails, to go through your texts, but even so, there shouldn't be any secrets. For example, Elena doesn't check my emails. But if she wants to, she has access to all my email accounts, to my phone, to my computer.
So much so that he doesn't even know half of his passwords. I do.
Exactly, yeah. And sometimes, for example, I don't need to check Elena's phone, but sometimes I just go there and say, let me see what Elena and her friends are up to. And I start reading their messages. Oh, let's meet tomorrow for shopping.
Now I know.
And it's so important that there's this transparency. When the person is married, is in a relationship, and says, oh, I don't like that my partner opens my mail because it's private. What could be private if you're married, right? There's no privacy.
Only bathroom time
Yeah.
should be private. Everything else, no private. But what, I'm listening to what you're saying, and it's interesting. For example, how many times have you told me, oh, there was a lady with not very good intentions who wrote to me on Facebook, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So even this is important because I don't have to worry. I know what,
I mean, I don't have to tell her that, but I think, what if Elena, is going through my messages and sees that message there? So what do? If someone contacts, I don't even reply, but I tell her, there was this lady who sent me a message on Facebook, nothing inappropriate, but just for you to know I didn't reply.
But some of them are very insisting. Even I get messages, I'm like, hello, where is this people, where are they?
And because we have that transparency, we avoid problems from the outside, right?
And this is very important. Now it's the time to get to know our guests with a love quiz and the 3 most annoying things about your partner. Hello and welcome to our weekly love quiz. And it's that time again where we test our guests' knowledge about each other. I have with me today Paul and Maria. Hi, Paul and Maria.
Hello, good evening.
Well, we are about to find out how well they know each other. The rules are very simple. I will ask you each 5 questions and you have only 10 seconds to answer each one correctly. Let's begin with Maria, shall we? Maria, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Well, question number 1, here it comes. What's his worst memory? You've got 10 seconds.
His worst memory, I think, is when his dad passed away.
Yes, but how? How did that happen? Because it's not just...
He passed away in his arms.
Okay, yeah, that's correct. So that was one of his worst memories ever. Question number 2, what kind of music does he like?
Oh,
10 seconds.
classic rock?
That's correct.
Ooh.
Well done. Question number 3, what's his worst thing to eat? What does he hate to eat?
He hates fish.
Okay. Oh my God. All right. Well, you still have to. Okay, let's see if you get this one right. What item can he not live without?
His phone.
Okay, that's correct. 4 out of 5 so far. Well done. Now, question number 5. Pay close attention. Name 3 things you and your partner think have in common. 10 seconds.
Our faith.
Yeah.
We love cats.
Yes.
And road trips.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Guys, were you cheating?
No.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, you just got every single question correctly. Well done to you. Now it's your turn, Paul. Are you ready for this?
Yeah,
I'm afraid, because I know you're quite competitive, but I'm afraid you can't do any better than what she did. But
I
you
just
can
want to
do
match it, not to be in trouble.
Good. Okay, question number 1, 10 seconds on the clock. What is her idea of a perfect me time afternoon?
For her,
Yes.
probably reading a book.
That's correct. Very well. Not bad.
Okay.
Okay, question number 2. What are you most likely to argue about? 10 seconds.
The house.
No. You are running out of time. You just did. You just...
Money?
Yes, she said that. She said you don't guys argue a lot that much anyway, but when you do, it's always about money or what to do with the money or whatever.
Yeah, I spend
which
more
is
than
very
her.
typical of couples. So you've got that one wrong. So question number 3 for you. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. What are the 2 things she loves the most about you? Time starts now.
What?
What are the 2 things she loves the most about you?
I don't know about 2 things, but
10
she always
seconds.
talk about my nose.
Yes, that's correct. What's the second one?
Second one, I have no idea.
Try.
I don't know. I'm a good guy?
All right. Well, you run out of time, but she said first one is your nose, and the second one is to do with your character. She says you always strive to do your best
Oh, that's nice.
in everything you do. So to her, it's a very nice thing. Question number 4. You ready for this one?
Ready.
Okay. What was her most difficult time in life so far?
For me, her most difficult time has got to be when she recently had an operation.
That's correct. I will take that one as a correct one, indeed, yes. Question number 5 and last one. Where did you guys go on your first date? This one is easy. Come on, 10 seconds.
Where did we go?
Yeah, where did you go?
Cascais, in Portugal.
That's correct. Well done. Well, so the score is 5 points for you, Maria, and 3 for you, Paul. Well done to you both anyway.
First, he does this weird thing with his mouth. He chews his tongue like this.
I cannot, but don't, I'm not joking here, I cannot be at home when she's cleaning. She cannot have anyone on her way when she is cleaning. So I gotta get out of the house for her to be able to do her cleaning.
The next thing is he's a perfectionist, okay? So if I go to his desk and I open his drawer to take a pen, he will know that I was there. He will say, Zé, have you come to take something here from my drawer? So that's very annoying.
The other thing is packing for traveling. She needs to do packing at her own pace and beforehand and with time to spare, which sometimes can be an inconvenience for a busy person.
The third thing is that he doesn't have any more annoying habits. That's quite annoying.
But that's pretty much it. Nothing else really to report, I'm afraid.
Welcome back. So you've just met Paul and Maria Hill doing their quiz there. And as usual, I wouldn't say as usual, but usually somehow women tend to win the quiz, right? Maria 5, Paul 3. What do you have to say about that?
I pay attention. He doesn't.
I'm just about to buy the t-shirt. My wife is always right.
So you see, you get to know them a little bit already. So guys, you've been together, you've been married for how long now?
21 years.
21 years.
Yeah, 22 this year.
We're talking about protecting your marriage today. How do you protect your marriage? I know that in the beginning you got married and you went through difficult adapting period because of certain circumstances. Tell us about that.
No, you start, please.
No, the difficult circumstances is better for her. She was the one who packed the bags. I just drove her to the station.
So hold on, so you were married and you packed your bags to leave?
Yeah, when we got married, we went to live with my mother-in-law.
Big mistake.
Yeah, it was
mother-in-law.
No, but it was maybe I was very young. I was very spoiled.
You were spoiled?
Yes, I see that today, not at the time, but I see that today. I was very spoiled because we used to argue. I don't know about what, to be honest with you. It was just about silly things.
Yeah, silly things.
So when used to tell him all the time, I'm gonna pack my bags and I'm gonna go. And he would say, no, don't do that, why? You know. But one day...
Did you enjoy the attention when he said, don't go?
Yeah.
Don't...
One day I said, I'm gonna pack my bags and go. And he said, okay. And I was like, okay. So I actually literally started packing my bags. And he went to get the car, put my bags in the car, and drove me to the train station.
And how did that end? What happened?
I got my bags.
That one, tell us.
I got my bags. I went to the train station, but whilst I was walking, I was like, what are you doing? You are leaving this man behind, just go back. Thank God he was still there waiting for me.
So he called your bluff, and
yes.
It's like, you know, playing chicken, who quits first,
yeah.
And you came back.
But
yes.
Let me just ask you something, Paul. Did you actually think she was going to leave?
I didn't know. The truth is, I didn't call her bluff as such, but it was just that kind of situation of silly things. And I was like, okay, you know, these silly things, maybe she's not comfortable, so I need to allow her to, you know, do what she thinks she needs to do. But obviously, as you can see, I stayed in the car in the same place, waiting.
For how long?
It was
just a few minutes.
Yeah, just a few minutes. It was the time of her. I parked in front of the station. She left the car, took her bags. I think there was some stairs up the stairs.
Yeah.
Well, what did you do when you entered the car? What did you tell this man when you entered the car? Tell me.
Do you
Actually, we didn't say much. She just came back to the car. I was like the sign. Okay, go back.
But I think after that, we just realized that we really needed to work things together, not against each other, you know.
And since we're talking about protecting marriage, one of the things we were saying earlier in the program is that it can be difficult when a couple deals with interference from family members. And because you went to live with your mother-in-law and your mom, even if family members don't want to interfere, sometimes you, even though you're not aware that you're interfering, you are interfering. Right? Did that happen?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely, yes. And I'm not going to say that my mother did not want to interfere or wanted to interfere. She definitely wanted to get something across to my wife. Was she doing it from a bad nature? I don't think so. But it was causing a problem, wasn't it?
Yeah, because she always used to say, oh, Paul doesn't like this way, Paul doesn't like it this way.
He's an only son.
Yeah.
So he was
basically,
whatever Paul wants, Paul gets.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing.
So
Yeah, it's true, it's true.
So there was this thing, like he doesn't like fish, as we saw in the quiz before. And once I bought something to cook, and you know, first of all, I was just gotten married and didn't have like a lot of experience in the kitchen, things like that.
Experimenting.
Yeah, I was experimenting. So I wanted to try something different. And I knew he didn't like fish very much, but I still wanted to try something different.
You're trying to convert him.
Yeah. And then she said, oh, no, Paul doesn't like fish. And then she went and cooked something else for him. So he arrived home from work and he went to the bedroom and I said to him, look, you're gonna eat fish, understand? You eat fish and that's the way it's gonna work. The poor man, he went and he ate the fish.
So the man was caught in the middle of these
Crossfire.
two women, of this crossfire, and like, okay, what do I do now?
And that was the problem for me. For her, the problem was obvious. She needed to stamp, her ground. The problem for me was that I was in between. I don't want to, offend my mother, especially because we are in her house. But I wanted my wife to have her own experience. And I could see there by that situation how things can go terribly wrong. At times, if you have a tough day at work, I actually thought twice, am I going to get trouble when I get home? I didn't feel like not going home, but there was that lingering thought. And in other cases, people go through much worse. Yeah. And there is, yes, it influences, it affects, it can, I think, in my view, destroy a relationship.
So eventually you moved out of your mom's house and you started afresh in your own place. What kind of things did you struggle with in the beginning? Because now you had your own space. Now you didn't have to eat fish, right? So what kind of things did you used to argue about, fight over in the beginning?
I think our arguments were mainly about the things you need to get used about each other. You know, we had a very short period that we dated. It was only 3 months before we got married.
Wow, that was
which I don't advise.
Super express.
It was.
You don't advise. It's better for people to get to know them.
Yes, it is. Yeah. We were sure that we were for each other. We were sure we wanted to be together, but we did made it hard for ourselves by not spending enough time together before we got married. So we had that experience within marriage, and it was, you know, sometimes troublesome. Certain things that she was used to and wanted me to do because she was used to, and certain things I was used to as well, and that I wanted her to do. So all that period of time, we didn't have enough of each other during the dating period. So I think that came into the first years of marriage and affected us.
Well, 3 months, I'm counting the weeks. How many weeks is that? 12?
12.
Wow, okay.
Because
that explains it.
For people at home who don't know Paul Maria, he has his little ways.
Yes.
Right? He's very particular about his ways, and if it's not that way, it's a problem.
Yes.
Was that a problem for you in the beginning to get used to that?
Yeah, because, you know, as I said before, I was very spoiled by my mother. So I was used to, you know, having things the way I liked. If I wanted my bedroom in a certain way, that's the way you would be. So when
You know what we should have here today, and maybe we need to do this in future shows. Show some photos, some evidence of what we are talking about. Because I would love for people to see at home the way this man does his filing.
No, we are talking about coming up shows, not this.
Oh my God, it's just so like peculiar. It's just.
And for example, when I used to iron his clothes, you know, I was just hang them normally, his shirts and things like that. And then he would be like, no, this is not the way to do it. You have to put white, the blues, and then all the other things. You know, like little things like that for me it was very like, what's wrong with just so white, the blue, and the pink, and then the yellow and the blue, and whatever, you know. But for him, he had to open the wardrobe and everything be in harmony.
So that's the word, harmony.
Or instead of harmony, you could call it OCD to a different level.
Yeah. Like I couldn't open his drawer because you would know that I had gone there and I had taken a pen. And I was like, really? So those little things can become very annoying.
But as time goes by, people usually say that it's these things that they now appreciate about the person, because this is what makes this person special to me. Because 21 years of those peculiarities, do you look at that now and you say, oh, this is my husband, this is who he is, I appreciate them?
Yeah, but then again, he does understand as well that I am not like him, you know, that I don't need to have my shirts all the same color together. He
still doesn't understand, he still does.
No,
after 21 years.
Yeah, but then again, I do put his shirts the way he likes them. Okay, so I think we got
You're talking about protecting a marriage. You mentioned external forces, if we can say that. One thing that we have learned to do to protect our marriage is to understand each other. So today, she does the ironing, leaves everything impeccable, and gives me the shout, ready. And then I get my shirt and I go and I organize them the way I want.
Oh, I see.
And like
That's
that, like that, she feels good because I'm helping her. Yeah. And I feel good because everything is in its place,
color-coded,
sorted, color-coded. Yes, of course.
Nice?
And I appreciate, for example, certain things she does. I've learned to appreciate them, and I love my wife for those peculiarities, definitely.
But I think as well, one thing that sometimes can cause problem in a marriage and in a relationship is like, for example, these little things he does that can be very annoying. I think it's important for you not to share that with the world in a way that, you know, people can because now we can laugh about it, but at the time, if I would my husband does this and this and this, then can embarrass him and, you know, put ourselves in a situation that can
and
cause
that's something you were talking about before we started recording, about being best friends. So what we're going to do is we need to go to a break now, but when we come back, because we've spoken about the problems, adapting and having all these situations. But now, as usually we say in this program, that usually people say the first few years are the most exciting. Actually, the first few years are usually the most troublesome. But then once you get rid of all the little complications, then it becomes even more exciting because you don't have as many problems as before. So we're going to talk about that in just a few moments. Let's go to a break and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Welcome back. We are here with Paul and Maria Hill, and I would like to ask you now. We heard about your stories, you know, when you just got married and how you guys dealt with your little problems. But how are things now? Because people often say, oh, you know, beginning of marriage is wonderful, but it's actually dealing with your differences and finding your space and your position in that marriage, and then, you know, with time, things get better. Did that happen to you? How is it now?
Of course, I think in a marriage, in life in general, the person you were 20 years ago is not the same person you are today. So you have to learn to grow, and you have to learn that the person that is next to you is growing as well and is changing as well. So I think that's the secret. It's like this, you know, this communication, this friendship that has to exist between you and your partner, you know, and know that today is not going to be the same day as tomorrow, that today I am one person and tomorrow I am a different person. And this, what happens with me, happens with him as well. So, you know, always talk to each other and learn about each other.
That's important indeed.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Marriage is not a straight line. Life is not a straight line.
Indeed.
And I think sometimes we make the mistake of thinking that it is, or that it could be. It's not. You know, life takes us through so many different situations, and you know, you are married. That person shares life with you. It's not just the bed, it's life. So you cannot hide from the person whatever challenge you are going through. You need to share that challenge, and share it like you sometimes share with your best friend. So you make your partner, your spouse, your best friend. My wife is the strength behind me. You know, I am going through a difficult moment, I share with her.
We got that on tape, Maria, in case you need that later. We got that on tape.
It's true. She doesn't even need to hear me say, because she knows that. She is the person I talk to. She's the person I open up to. So I think sometimes couples fail to realize that there will be times in your marriage that you are more romantic, because you can be more romantic.
This is very interesting.
Other times where you need to be more of a warrior, because life is you know, dealing you cards that are hard to handle, and you need a warrior by your side, not a person demanding romance when you are going through a difficult moment at work, personally.
Because the thing is, when people get, or when they're about to get married, the way they envision marriage is what they see in the movies, you know, happy every day, holding hands every day. But then, for example, in these 21 years, you guys have had tough moments, difficult moments, right? And what you were saying earlier about being best friends is so important, because when you go through these tough moments that are really hard, that sometimes you feel you're at breaking point, but you're not at breaking point. The reality is that when you come out of that, you're stronger than before. So that's where relationships become more solid, right?
And it's very interesting. I was going to say even that many couples, young couples, maybe 5 years, been married for 5 years or 3 or something like this, they say, oh, but I would love for my relationship to be like that, at that point where you know, we want to have what these guys have. Like, you know, when you're sharing a story like this and like, but they don't remember that all these things are part of your marriage. Like you became closer like this, you became closer, you became best friends because of all these things that you've endured together, that you fought together. And like you said, life is not a straight line. So people sometimes they find the first hurdle. At the first hurdle, they just give up. They think, oh no, this is not for me. Let's just divorce.
And it's not because we've been married for 21 years that we live in a sea of roses, you know. There are still things that, you know, sometimes we have to talk about it. We have to struggle, you know. We have to learn that. I have to learn that there are days that maybe is a little bit more stressed. So that day, even
you should have known that already by now.
Even if on that day I want to talk and talk and talk and talk, I know that I have to keep it quiet because that's not the best day for me.
Give him space.
Yeah, and give him space.
You don't just be quiet. She actually goes quite far where I don't need to say, but she sees I am more stressed about something, maybe at work or privately, and she, without a word, goes and cooks my favorite food.
Oh, it's true, I do that.
Which, by the way, I remember one day Paul said to me like this, you know what? Today I had a meal like I hadn't had in a long time. It's one of my favorite meals, and I thought it's an amazing dish.
It's like
probably
a very, very...
You know, it's a home-cooked dish and he said burger, fries, and egg.
Yeah, fried egg.
So that
please
makes you feel better.
That makes me feel better
because
she
of the
knows
attention
it.
She paid to you.
Exactly, and she knows it, and it doesn't matter in what state of mind you are or whatever state of mind a particular problem is pushing you to. When you see that gesture, it just breaks it. It breaks it. You realize that, okay, I gotta push this aside for a moment. And that's the skill she has acquired by being my best friend and myself to her as well.
But you can only get this, and it's for people at home to understand. Many people say, I want to get married and I want to have that straight away. It takes time, right?
We didn't have that in the beginning. We didn't have that for many years. Is that right?
Yeah.
It takes maturity and learning, and also a lot of humbling yourself, isn't it? Because look at you. Pack my bags and go, and then you have to come. Sorry, I've just been silly here. Let's
just
go
being
home.
a drama queen.
And throughout life, there are many moments of having to humble yourself. So many where you have to always apologize, or you have to, okay, then sorry.
Both, not just a woman.
Both, absolutely. So it takes work. And this is what we want people at home to understand. And this is a way of you bulletproofing, I don't know even the word in English.
Bulletproof.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Your marriage and protecting your marriage, I think.
So now things are 21 years on better than ever before?
Yeah.
Yes. I appreciate my wife much more than what I appreciated her in the first few years of marriage, definitely.
Yeah.
I respect her more. I love her more because of that. You know, the love is there since the beginning.
That's also on tape, in case you want to go back.
You know, the love was there in the beginning. You get married because of love, but you do not have this element that now make it, in a way, a purer love from my point of view.
Yeah, I think you learn to respect each other, and when you respect each other, then, you know, that's when that love grows and you build on it. I think that's...
Okay.
Isn't it?
Now tell me just one thing, just one more thing on camera for us to have it on tape. I would like you to look at Maria in the eyes and tell her...
Not around the eyes,
and tell her what you like the most about her, in every single way.
Maria. Yes. What I love the most about you, baby.
Get your cheese graters out, because this is going to be a cheesy moment.
I'm looking in the eye and you are running away with the eye.
This is not
They weren't expecting this,
tell
so...
me.
This is not your thing. Oh, come on. The thing I love the most about you, Linda, is you. The whole of you.
That's
romantic.
That's cheesy. That's cheesy.
That's
No,
me.
it's not cheesy, it's beautiful. Well done, you guys.
Guys, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. Now,
Thank you.
you know, if there's something important about protecting your marriage is to make sure, like Paul said, very important, Paul and Maria said, is that you both are best friends. And being best friends means that you don't hide anything from each other. Perhaps the most damaging thing for a marriage is when there are things that the other one doesn't know exists, whether it's a hidden friendship, whether it's a hidden email account, whether it's interference from outside. So make sure that if there is something that your partner doesn't know, you expose that, you talk about that as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, and I would even say that if there is anything bothering you, something really, deep inside, you don't really want to talk about it, it could be anything, an idea or something, you should always talk. You should never say, oh, you know what, this is nothing, and let's just leave it. Because the other person might think things are going well, and then suddenly, that's when you hear, oh, I don't want to be in this marriage anymore. I don't want this anymore, because you never dealt with the real issue. So I think this is a very important part
Absolutely.
of protecting.
So if you feel the need to hide something from your partner, no matter how small, how little it is, chances are that this is going to affect your marriage. Get it out there, speak about it, talk about it, and once it's out in the open, you can deal with it and you can move on. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Until next time, have a wonderful evening.
Well, I think love is meeting the right person, the one you compenetrate with, the one you can share everything with. But I think it's extremely difficult finding that person.
Love is a commitment. If I could be biblical, love is patient, love is kind. And we just love each other and have for 35 years.
Covers it.
Love seems to be the only thing that's a constant, which is something that can be used to improve your life, which is always there for you. And it's always there for you. And if you are open to using it, it can change your life. It can improve your life every time. It's guaranteed to improve your life. If you come from a place of love, you are guaranteed to improve your life if you're doing something from a place of love. But it's scary when you haven't done it for a while.
I think love goes beyond the lovey-dovey things that you always see in movies. It's more about finding someone that you care more about their happiness than your own. So you do everything to make them happy, because that's what gives you happiness.
It's very easy to say, I love someone, I have these very strong feelings for someone. But to actually prove it, you have to do it through actions over a long period of time. So for example, not cheating on them, being faithful, committing to them and that kind of stuff. So it's, because they say that, scientists haven't discovered, like scientifically, they haven't yet been able to define what love is. So at the moment, we're all kind of in the dark about it. But yeah, I think it's more about an action than just a feeling. It's how you show it over a long period of time.
I think there are many different meanings of love, and it just depends on what you mean. Ultimately, love is the feeling that you are one with another, one with something else. So it's being at one with.
Just something that people want to be together for.